Welcome to Life and Style Ask Pastor Chris segment. We promised that we would go out, and we have. This week I've got some few young people, 2 young men and 2 young ladies, and the question that we want to deal with is, what is the right age for you to move out? Remember, if you want to be part of the show, you want to be on the panel of Ask Pastor Chris, you need to WhatsApp us on 0700574747. You could write us also on Facebook. Our Facebook page is KTN Life and Style. You could send an inbox. 22840 is our text number if you've got to send SMS. And you could also follow us on our Twitter handle at KTN Life_Style, the same for Instagram. Well, I have to the left, is it Kezia?
Yes, Kezia.
Kezia,
Yes.
how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine.
What do you think is the age for somebody to move out?
I don't think there is a specific right age.
Yeah?
But I think the age that's usually said by law would be 18. That's after you're done or your parents are done educating you. So I think after 18, you're able to independently make your decisions, so you're able to move out.
Okay.
Yes.
Close to me here is Ivy. How are you doing?
Very fine, thank you.
Welcome to Life and Style. Welcome to Ask Pastor Chris.
Thank you. Thank you.
What do you think about the age thing? What's the right age to move out?
I don't think there's a specific date or time or year or age. There we go. Of leaving really, but I think if you can pay for it, go ahead. If you can fend for yourself, if you can pay your rent, if you can pay your electricity bill, if you are sure that you're not going to run back to your mother's house, by all means, please go ahead. And of course, now in Kenya, you can't work before you're the age of 18. So of course, that is from 18 and beyond. Then as soon as you get your feet, please, by all means.
All right. I also have Titus. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you, sir.
What time, when do you think somebody needs to move out?
There is no specific time per se, but once you're done with education, or if you got the chance actually to go and study, but that's not the major key factor. The major key factor is if you're able and you're mature enough to fend for yourself and actually be responsible and mature enough in whatever you're doing, because going out there, moving out, that means you're getting off the coverage of your parents or your guardian. So it means you're going to be your own man, you're going to be your own woman, per se. So that literally means that am I stable enough mentally, first of all, to actually tackle the challenges that will come as I'm going out there?
So for you, stability is beyond finances.
It's actually beyond finances, Pastor Chris, because one, you might have all the finances in the world, but your mental state is distorted. So when you're moving out there, you will find all crazy aspects and angles. You'll find friends who will derail you if actually you're not in a state of stable mind in yourself. So it's beyond finances.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then we have a Fantas right at the end.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Life and Style. What's your opinion?
I don't think I would put an age to. I don't think I would put a number to the age that somebody should move out. But I think when you grow up, you should need to come to a place of responsibility. I don't think that by 25 you should be in your father's house. At least by that time you should have grown.
So at least you've given us an age.
Yeah, at least the worst that it should be 25. But if you are able to come to a place of responsibility before you're 25, the better.
Okay. Why do you feel that by 25 somebody needs to have moved?
Looking at the age where you finish school, we say if you finished high school at latest when you're 18 years or 19 years, and then you go into campus. After campus, it should be the last time you should be in your father's house. At least you should go out of your father's house or your mother's house.
But the ladies were saying that if you can pay for it, Ivy, I remember you said if you can pay for it, does that include somebody who's in their teenage?
I think generally it does. In my opinion, generally it does, because at the end of the day, I'm thinking that moving out teaches you a couple of things. So you're just learning these things before everyone else. I think we can't say that by 25 you shall be mature enough or you shall have your mind will have opened wide enough, or so on and so forth. But I think that you living by yourself teaches you in itself. So I think the earlier you do that, the better for you, really. And you grow up to be a mature person. You shall learn to pay your bills by yourself. You shall learn that the decisions that you make have consequences early enough. So I think you'll just be a grown up much faster. And I think let's not put an age to growing up. Grow up quickly.
All right. Would you date a man who is over 25? They're living in their mother's house.
Oh God, no.
So you also somehow there is an age limit. Somehow you thinking that at a certain age somebody should go out.
Yes. I think at a certain age someone should go out. By the time you finished campus, and yeah, he's right. Really, I think you should have left by now, or should be at least finding your way of living. I think if you're sitting down just to be settled and waiting for a wife, I don't know where you're going to take this wife if you don't have a house. So I think that you need to, brother, just move
What are the
on.
fears that young people have in moving out, Kezia? What are the fears that people have in moving out?
I think some of the fears are bills, like the responsibility that comes with the bills. Now, when you're in your parents' house, there is comfort of I don't pay bills.
You don't pay bills.
I'm not paying anything. I'm just gonna walk in. I have the food, I have electricity, and I have running water.
Yeah.
So the fear is maybe the bills that you're going to incur when you move out. And then life alone. You're not used to being alone. You're used to having folks around, your brother, your sister, and there's company in the house. So
But you could have that, you could move out and move in with a friend.
well, most times you start off alone. So it's really, I think when you grow, maybe that's when you discover you need a friend. And so that's when you move in with your friends. At the same time, when you're moving out, most guys think, let me move out.
All
And they're
right.
moving out on their own, not to move in with a friend.
Okay.
Yes.
But Titus said that moving out is not just a matter of bills, it's a matter of the mind. So in your view, then what hinders young people from moving out?
There is no manual or formula when actually you're about to move out. Your guardian or your parent doesn't call you and tells you, Titus, it's now time for you to move out. And when you're out there,
Some of them do. Some of them will tell you, look, maybe you need to go and find a place.
yes, I agree with you. They'll just tell you, you need to move out and go and find your own place. But they're not telling you what challenges actually you're going to find out there.
So what is the hindrance in that case? Because she talked about bills. She talked about bills. People get hindered by bills.
Yes.
So in your case, what would be the hindrance?
The hindrance, first of all, I'd summarize it up to one major thing: the fear of the unknown. The fear of the unknown. When you're out there, you might have something today. Yes, the job is not a guarantee that in the next 2-3 years down the line you'll still have the job. You may find a job today, move out tomorrow, but what happens 1 month down the line? Something might come up. The job might be messed up and all that. So you fear, will I be able still to meet the needs actually that has
All
been
right.
put on my shoulder?
Okay.
Yes.
Francis, I want to know, we talk about school. All of us are saying, when you finish school, then you can move out. The question is, does school prepare us to move out?
I think that is the issue we have with our current system, that the school does not prepare us to move out. But I think when you're a parent and you are trying to raise your children, you need to foresee that at a certain time in life, they need to move out of your court, especially the boy child, the men. Because you cannot be a man, you're 30, and you're saying because you don't have a job, now you have an excuse to stay in the house. I think when it comes to a man, you need to go out. For the ladies, sometimes we can excuse them because it depends with so many things. But for men, I think by the time they are coming out, they need to find a way. If their parents didn't teach them how to move out, they need to go outside there and have a mentor or something, just learn a way of
Talking about the
standing by
ladies,
themselves.
you brought out a point. That talking about ladies, for the men, we seem to be in agreement that at a certain stage, a man needs to get out. Because he needs to go out there, fend for himself, prepare the place. Somewhere along the line, he's going to start a family or something. So he needs to go out over there. Is there an age for ladies to move out?
Personally, I don't think there's an age for a lady to move out, even for men. Just seeing as how my family operates, and it's not mandatory for a guy to move out. I think it's just a responsibility factor that needs to be there in terms of a man. Is he?
So you wouldn't mind a man living in his mother's house till he's 35. You are okay with that?
35 is maybe an extreme, but maybe after 30, I don't think I'd.
Do you think age is the only factor? Because I'm still coming back to the question of the lady, but do you think age is the only factor that we look at when it comes to man, or is it the fact that he needs to show himself as a responsible person?
I don't think age is the only thing. I
Yeah.
think he needs to show himself as a responsible person.
Right.
I mean, he can be responsible in his mother's house and be irresponsible in his own house. Responsibility is just a matter of, it's not about him moving out, it's himself.
All right, I'm going to talk about that, but what factors are determined? You know, I asked Kazia if he feels that there is an age. She seems not to agree that there's an age for ladies, but if there was, what would be the factors? Is marriage a determinant in whether a lady moves out or not?
Okay, I'll answer the thing about age. I think there should be an age. I think we're living in a life, in a time where men and women are put in equal terms. So if men should leave the house by 25, even you as a woman, get out. Just the same way. I think women need to be stronger, and they need to.
You don't think she needs to wait, or you need to wait till your husband comes and gets you from your parents' home, you know, to another home?
No, because okay, my opinion, I'm thinking that I'm living in my mom's house, so my mom is paying the bills, unless she decides to say, now, Sherry, that you are living in this house, Ebu, it's idea. But if that doesn't happen, then that means that she's paying the bills. I'm in a hotel practically. I'm earning my money while I'm just hoteling, and so I think that we are just tarmacking in this one place. Then just the same way that men are going to become greater people in life, then therefore do women. And I think marriage should never be a determinant of whether or not a woman should leave the house. I think she should leave a house before she becomes married, or before this guy comes and gets her, so she's not moving from living off her mother to now living off her husband. Okay, may I have a problem with that
Is
idea?
that a problem?
For me, it's a
Kezia, do you think that's a problem? Is it a big deal? Is it wrong for a woman to move from her mother's house to her husband's house?
I really don't. Okay, well, it's different for people. I agree that if you're in your mother's house and you're working, then at least assist in paying some of the bills. You know, like show that you're earning a living. Buy some groceries, pay the house help, pay the water, just the small things. You don't have to do the big things, but at least show you're earning some money. But in terms of a woman moving out so that she can show that she's eligible for marriage, or is that?
No. I'm just thinking, does she have to move out, or should she wait until she's married? I know cultures, and I know in certain countries where they won't allow their daughters to go out until a man will come in to ask for the hand in marriage.
I think it's a matter of choice at the end of the day for a person. I personally wouldn't move out. She would move out, and it's different for many people. So it's not restricted to one mainstream, like this is the way. It's a personal choice. If I decide I want to stay in my mom's house and assist and wait for my husband to pick me up from my house, then so be it. If I feel like I need a bit of responsibility, or I want to be away from my parents so that I can learn to be on my own, then that's fine.
Kezia said some men are irresponsible in their parents' houses, or rather outside, then some are responsible in their parents' houses. Is it possible for a man to be responsible in his mother's house?
When you're young, responsibility is a thing you learn. So when you're young, you can be responsible because you're doing the chores and you're doing all that. But when you're at 28 or 26, you need to come to a place where you outgrow those responsibilities and show yourself as a man. Because you cannot be that old and then you just want to pay bills for your mom in the house because you're in the house. I think you should come to a place where you pay your house, and if you want to support your mom or your dad, you paying their bills when you're outside their house.
What is manhood to you?
I'd say.
First of all, are you out?
Yes. Yes, I'm out.
Okay.
I'd say this. There is the societal definition of a man and the expectations of a society towards what a man actually should be, or the time that he should move out. like roughly when a fantasy, my friend is saying, like 25. You see, in some other people, they'll say, as long as you've already hit 18, you're already a man. So get out of the house and start living your life as a man. But to me, what I'd say is, once you're mature enough and you understand responsibility, you're ready as a man.
But what is this? What is this that is called maturity? Because it seems like maturity has no age. Ivy said it is possible to get to 25 and not have hit that maturity mark. So that means then that even the 18 is not really a maturity age. It's just something that legally we say now you can have an ID, you can vote, you can get a job, you can get your license, you can drive, you can get married, make certain decisions, but they're not responsible for those decisions. So what is this that we call maturity? Because somebody can be 40 and they have not matured.
That's a hard question. But I think maturity is just the mental capacity of a person. And I don't mean that in terms of like disorderly, like mental disorder. And I mean in terms of decision making, in terms of composure, how someone is able to compose themselves, and even the way they articulate themselves, the way they express themselves. I think that's maturity. It's not how much money someone has or the age, like you're saying. It's just how am I able to carry myself as a person, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and verbally. Like, how am I going to, say the things I need to say?
All
Yes.
right. Yeah.
I think I just want to define maturity in my opinion. I think maturity is knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And that's it.
Okay. When we talk about people who move out and those who stay in the long run, is there any difference? Is there any difference from people that you know? Can you tell that this person grew up faster or better because they moved out and another one was sheltered? We don't have the scientific statistics to that, but just generally in life, do you see any difference in that?
Yes, I'd say yes, there is a huge difference, because once you move out at the age of say 25 and someone else moves out at the age of 27, you see, when this person at the age of 27 starts experiencing life out there as an individual off the cover of shelter, you'll see the person that has already moved out earlier on at 25 already has some experiences actually that can help this person who moves out at 27. You see, so I'd say, and also in terms of maturity, I'd say it's the ability to digest information or process thoughts and give out quality feedback at the end of the day. Quality feedback in terms of personally, that the decisions that you're making is quality to you and to the people actually that involve you and yourself and the society.
Okay. You want to answer that?
I would want to start from the place of agreeing with their definitions of maturity. But even agreeing with them, I would say that place of maturity, responsibility, decision making is a place where we grow into. It's not a place where, it's not a status that changes in a day. It's a place where you must learn. It's like a baby who is learning how to walk. So the faster you move out, the better you start learning about life and how to make decisions. You'll make a mistake here and there, but because of the mistakes you've made in the previous, in the past, will help you to be a better person, to make better decisions. And so at the end of the day, because you moved faster, you'll become better than the person who overstayed in their mother's
And
house.
I'm going to bring this to Ivy. Moving out sometimes, so the pressure, the decisions that people have got to make, they've got to make ends meet. They're trying to find out how do you pay rent and pay water and pay electricity and still have money to go to work and still have money for my own things. That kind of pressure. Don't you think that if somebody is exposed to it too early, it can break them?
The better. I think that whatever kills you makes you stronger. Whatever doesn't kill you, there you go. Whatever doesn't kill you will definitely make you stronger. I think that people learn best by experience. That's why testimonies are always so moving, because someone actually went through it. So let us be truly honest. We all know that the textbook says, I don't know, your teeth should be straight, let us say. But that's not necessarily what happens in life. So that's when dentists come in and fix things. And so I think it's the same way with life. Now, you kind of have to realize that the textbook is what should happen, but isn't what always happens. And life is like crooked teeth. It's a strange analogy, but life is like crooked teeth, and you simply have to fix it to make it look what it's supposed to be. But you wouldn't know what it is without the textbook, but that's not what life is. So I think that if this experience breaks you, great, you've learned something. Now move on, apply what you've learned, and be a great human being.
Do you think everybody can handle the ability to rise up again when they've been broken?
Yes and no.
Okay, start with a yes.
Yes, because of it's, I don't know, there's usually an inner strength in every human being to rise up. No is that not everybody can channel that strength. You see, so some people, fear shuts them down, others it makes them wake up. So it's how you channel that energy. So yes, others can move from it, others get into depression, and then the story goes on, and then they commit suicide.
You know, we once had a discussion on Ask Pastor Chris, and we spoke about why ladies go out to find sponsors. Do you think moving out is one of those that can cause them to go that direction? The financial pressure, you've got this kind of life you want to live, then you've got this reality, your first job. How much do people earn in their first jobs? It could be somewhere 15,000.
15,
And
10,
and so you're looking at your options. The options of houses, when you're earning 15,000, the options of houses would be something really crazy. So probably they want to use most of that money to be their rent, you know.
Yes, they want to pay their rent, but they want to also live above their living standards. I mean, I get 10,000 and I can pay house rent for like a room somewhere. It's just because I see somewhere and I'm like, yeah, I want that SQ that's 15K, so I need to find myself money that's that worth, and then I come back. That's why we look for sponsors, because sometimes we want to live above what we earn. So yes, it would be one of the contributors, but it's just because they really want to live above what they have. Their lifestyle demands or their lifestyle wants are making them thrive that far.
Francis, if a man went out and then he couldn't cope with it, is he permitted to go back home?
No way. A man should be a man. He should stay in the streets till he conquers.
Would he have to just stay there, fight his battles? Because ladies, you know, though I know it's not only for the ladies, but generally though, ladies they can find support from elsewhere, which is not very easy. For men, it's very hard for men to find sponsors, you know, so how do they go about it?
There will always be something to do, someone to talk to. Maybe go stay with someone for a month, 2 months, 3 months before you find your way again.
But not
somehow,
to go back home.
Yeah, you shouldn't go back home. There are enough ways for you to fight.
I'd like to counter that.
Yeah.
I think that's something you've put for yourselves as men. I mean, you can always go back home. I don't know what stops you. Yes, it's not being a man in the context of how society views you, but let's be real. You also have emotions and feelings, and you will get broke. So yes, it's sometimes being a man is accepting I am broke. Hey mom, I'm broke.
I want to use the analogy of a child who is training how to walk. If they fall the first time and then you tell them to sit down, they will never get strong in their feet. It's falling the first time, the second time, the third time that allows them to be able to walk. So
you raise them up and make them walk again.
Yes.
You know, I'm just thinking, probably Ivy would answer that. I'm just thinking, if you give men permission to come back home, will they have the fight to go back out?
In my experience and in my seeing, no. But I think that if the worst comes to the worst, I mean, you have tried everything and the world is just honestly against you. To be truly honest, it's not your fault. The world is just against you. Then fine, go back home, regroup, reevaluate. But I think it shouldn't be an option we should tell our kids. I think it's just it's not. Don't tell that it's not an option. Let it not be an option. Let it be the ultimate and complete and utter last resort. So that we're not having men who can't fend for themselves. Men who, as soon as the rubber meets the road and things get hard, and then now you bail, and that's not how life works.
If everything is, you're not lazy, you're not somebody who's not creative, you're doing everything that you know within your power and things are not working, but then you need to regroup, what would you do?
Let me answer that honestly from a very personal point of view, because the question that you just raised actually happened to me at some point, yeah? It actually, yes, happened to me. And yes, I went out there and things didn't really work out. After about 2 years, I lost some cash in some deal, and I lost my savings. So I had actually to go back home. You understand? So I had to go back home and actually re-strategize and save a little bit of some cash to enable me again now move out, to go out the second time. So I can't really say it's a bad thing, but as long as you're honest to yourself, I'm doing everything, yes.
And you know what you're trying to do.
You know what you're trying to do,
Okay,
yes.
your final thoughts, 30 seconds, 10 seconds each person, your final thoughts.
I think it's a choice. Make the choice. If you're able to move out, pay your bills like Ivy said, then do it. If
All
you're
right.
not able, save a little bit more and then move out.
Okay, Ivy.
My final thought is you're going to have to do it eventually. You might as well start early.
Okay, Titus.
You'll have to move out, but start where you can. Start on the low as you focus on the high.
So Ivy is like, just go for a deep end. You were like, be systematic. Okay,
Yes.
the Fantas.
I think a man should move out. They should do everything to move out. And I think it starts from the point of their mind. Their mind should move out first.
All right. So there you have it. Do you agree with them or do you disagree? Keep the conversation going on Twitter. The hashtag is KTN Life and Style. We're asking, what is the age for somebody to move out? Remember to engage with us on our social media platforms. You need to follow us on Twitter at KTN Life _ Style, the same with Instagram. And you could write me 0700574747 if you want to be part of the panel. Follow me also on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at CJ Atemo. Follow me on Instagram, Chris Atemo, and Facebook, Chris J Atemo. Tomorrow will be Inspiration Thursday on Life and Style. Keep it KTN. Keep it Life and Style. Have a lovely day. God bless you.